When it comes to marketing subscription businesses, I know you asked what people usually get wrong overall in the subscription business, but when it comes to marketing, what are some of the things people can use to have a better marketing, operation when it comes to, running a subscription business?
Yeah. First thing is community. So if you think about you're starting a company, you're trying to figure out a business model, you can go out there and either look for a community to try to sell to, or you can try to build your own community. So let's just go with the candle one, right? Like, are there Facebook groups that are about candles? If so, you could probably get quite a few of those members to try yours for free, right? To get feedback, right? If there's not a candle group on Facebook, you could start one and start posting on Reddit and other places and trying to interact with people about getting people to try your candles for free. Or you wanted a support group of people who have a horrible smelling house, right? Really, that's where you go. And the reason that community can be so useful is a couple of reasons. One, you can actually set the foundation for your first round of sales, your first round of customers. All it takes is 100 people that are buying your product on a consistent basis to you start to see a little bit of growth and then you're going to get data, you're going to get feedback, you're going to create loyalists that are going to start telling and sharing about your brand. And you can kind of go all in on that. Even with just a couple hundred people, you can go all in on that. So that's from a starting point. The irony is that it's also that a really big key for larger brands is that you're starting to create this feeling of community. Alex, I don't know if you talk to other people that take mushroom coffee for focus, but I would imagine if you met somebody else that's using that, you'd probably be talking a lot about the product and how it's different and what you're getting out of it. It's be really, really interesting to you because you're testing that. It's going to be really, really interesting to somebody else in another boat, right? So as a brand, you want to try to foster some of that engagement, right? So again, Facebook groups is the most basic way. There's a lot of different ways to get at communities doing that kind of thing, but you want to be able to get people to start connecting. They start to look to you from a brand experience. You're offering more than just mushroom coffee. Maybe it's you have a YouTube channel on focus tips, or things like that, because that your customer is really worried about focus, about hustle, or something like that, right? So thinking about other ways you can play with content, that's the next step out of that. For me, I work with subscription businesses. A lot of my content is related to scaling your subscription business. So I'm trying to give people free information. I have a newsletter. I'm trying to grow that subscriber base because more and more people, if they look to me as a resource for subscriptions, they're going to ultimately are going to buy our software. And if not, at least that we're going to be friends and network and referrals, right? So I think that's one of the biggest things I would look at from a scale standpoint. The other thing, without getting in too deep into paid and some of those stuff, is I would always caution anybody who's thinking about launching ads is what data points are you going off of, right? Again, mushroom coffee, what am I going to market? I see ads for mushroom coffee, and I just see an ad about a guy who's this is why I use it. And he explains it. And the person who's talking on that ad he's explaining it in a way that's kind of compelling, personalized, and I'm assuming that's based off of data or information they've gotten from their customer base because that's who they've been selling to successfully, right? So you want to be able to gather that kind of data, those reasons, because we always go into a business with an assumption. How are we proving that assumption? So QPilot, for a long time, we thought it would be really important to sell to people that thought it was really easy. We can give you this really great subscription experience, and it's really easy to implement. So we thought that's a great selling point, right? It makes sense. It's really, you can have this profound subscription experience. It's easy to implement. Well, it kind of was didn't necessarily resonate super well, but we're seeing a lot of traction with people that actually want a subscription partner. They're looking for somebody to not just be a technology provider, but also give them feedback on what their program should be. So that's where we're shifting a little bit of our selling, because now we're getting feedback from people that are oh, well, no, I want a partner that's going to help me, going to give me more data, give me some recommendations, things like that. So that's the kind of thing you got to figure out in your business is my advice.